All right, let's dive right into this explainer. I was looking through our source material on consistency recently, and it honestly completely challenges how most of us approach our biggest goals. Whether that's getting into shape, learning a new skill, or building a career, we're looking at a fascinating breakdown of human behavior today. And as you'll see, it reveals why the secret to success isn't about these massive, exhausting bursts of effort, but rather the compounding power of just showing up. So, we're going to kick things off by busting a massive productivity myth right out of the gate, the idea that you have to feel ready before you begin. The source makes this brilliant point. It tells us to just stop spending time trying to get in the mood to work. I mean, how many times have we all sat around organizing our desks, making another cup of coffee, or just waiting for inspiration to magically strike? It's a massive trap. Instead, we need to stop working at getting ready and just confront the work itself. What's really cool about this first concept is how it completely flips our standard approach to starting literally any new project.
Section 1. The perfect condition. We usually trick ourselves into thinking we need everything to be perfectly aligned before we take action, right? We're always waiting for the perfect conditions. But in reality, starting immediately and just confronting the work directly is the ultimate productivity hack. People think they need the perfect environment, the absolute perfect energy levels, or this flawless master plan. Actually, scratch that. It's just an illusion holding you back.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material. Starting is the perfect condition. It just completely strips away all our excuses. You don't need a perfectly clear schedule to begin. The sheer act of starting creates the exact momentum you are waiting for. Which brings us to Section 2, the invisible results. Because once you actually do start, you run into the next massive hurdle. The crucial point here is what we can call the tragic cycle of the mirror. Picture this. You go to the gym, you put in the hard work, you come home, look in the mirror, and you see absolutely nothing. So you go to the gym the next day, come back, look in the mirror again, and yeah, you still see nothing. Because you see zero measurable results after a day or two, you just assume the whole process is broken, and you quit.
This is the logical fallacy we tell ourselves when we're stuck in this desert of invisible results. We totally forget that day 1 or day 2 of anything is basically imperceivable. We tell ourselves, well, clearly there are no results. It can't be measured, so it must not be effective. But the source explicitly points out how ridiculous this is when you really think about it. You obviously aren't going to recognize any change whatsoever after 2 days in the gym. A bicep isn't going to magically appear overnight, but that doesn't mean the work wasn't effective. It just means human transformation takes time. To escape that trap, we've got to fundamentally shift our timeline.
And that brings us to Section 3, the 100-day rule.
We have to stop thinking in terms of days and start thinking in terms of sustained periods. Whether it's going to the gym or learning to play the guitar, the contrast between the frustration of day 1 and the transformation by day 100 is staggering. Like the source notes, on day 1 of playing guitar, you can barely fumble through one chord. Day 2? No real change. Still sounds terrible. But 100 days of practicing guitar, you can play almost any song. 100 days in the gym, and you are literally almost a new person. It's all about taking small steps every day and letting go of expecting incredible results in 10 days.
And the source hits the nail on the head here. Worthwhile things just take time. They might take 100 days, they might take 500 days. Or, honestly, it might even take 5,000 days of showing up. To get where you want to go, you're really looking at making progress over 3, 4, maybe up to 10 years. It's just getting a tiny bit better on Monday, a little better on Tuesday, a little better on Wednesday. Now, you know what's incredibly liberating about this approach? It doesn't demand perfection. The beauty of this system is that it fully allows for imperfection. If you fundamentally believe you're on the right track, you just have to commit yourself to the overall regime. That means it is totally okay to screw up. You can eat the chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. The process actually expects that. As long as you stick with it consistently overall, you will eventually start getting into shape. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be persistent.
Which perfectly sets up our final part today. Section 4, consistency over intensity. Think about it like this. A single, intense 9-hour workout won't get you in shape, but a modest, totally accessible 20-minute session done every day absolutely will. Going to the gym for 9 hours straight is an incredible display of intensity. It's insane, really, but it does not get you into shape. Working out every day for just 20 minutes, that is what gets you into shape. It's not about the grand, exhausting, heroic events. It is entirely about consistency.
While success over a 3 to 10-year span is never guaranteed, the source emphasizes a harsh but really important truth. Consistency doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful, but not being consistent will guarantee that you won't reach success. It is literally the baseline requirement for achieving anything worthwhile.
This is a real drop-the-mic realization that perfectly summarizes why we absolutely have to prioritize daily action over dramatic events. Without commitment, you'll never start. But without consistency, you'll never finish. Commitment gets you to step up to the starting line. It gets you to stop worrying about being in the mood. But consistency? Consistency is the engine that actually carries you across the finish line hundreds or even thousands of days later.
So, to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to consider as you face your own daily choices. What will your day 100 look like? Are you going to keep staring into the mirror on day 2 expecting a miracle, or are you going to embrace those invisible results, confront the work today, and just let time do the heavy lifting? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.